This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
You all ready for this? Mm-hmm. Dun 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 dun.
No. Y'all, just stop.
This is a sham.
Welcome to DBL. Happy Tuesday. Happy Black History Month. And Erica,
yes.
I just looked over at you. Happy dress day.
She looks like an angel. She looks like an angel. Like an angel.
She doesn't know, though. She just walks around and
me and Al were talking about you, and you were on your phone. I'm like, Erica, what's up with this? And you were just looking at your phone, and me and Al were complimenting you, and you had no idea we were.
And I go, she doesn't even know we're talking about her, and you go, no, she doesn't, and you just kept looking at your phone. This is like 30 seconds ago. This happened.
Wow.
And Tori,
you look great.
Yes, we love you.
You look great.
Turtleneck twins.
This is a great day, y'all. Thank you for Erica.
It is a great day. All right, let's get to it, guys. We all look good. We all look
yes.
good. All right. Hoda Kotb ended her engagement with her partner of 8 years, Joel Schiffman. So Hoda made the announcement on the Today Show yesterday. She said after having some meaningful conversations over the holidays, she and Joel decided that they are better off as friends and parents. Let's watch.
It's not like something happened. And, you know, they say sometimes relationships are meant to be there for a reason, for a season, or for a lifetime. And I feel like ours was meant to be there for a season.
All right, Al, I'm going to go to you, buddy, because you always talk about this stuff. Sometimes you grow out of love. It doesn't mean you still don't love that person, but just not in that way.
Right. You know, it's weird, and this is going to be like a weird analogy, but I just talked to my daughter. This was Sunday night. She called me. You could tell when your kid's on the borderline of tears, and she wanted to tell me that she didn't want to do volleyball anymore. And volleyball.
She's like amazing at volleyball.
Right, but it wasn't bringing her joy anymore. And I think that she thought I was going to be like, well, just give her one more summer. I could kind of tell she didn't have the same pizzazz for it. She didn't really like the new coach, blah, blah, whatever. And I told her exactly what I would tell Hoda. Volleyball is just something on your journey. It's not this thing that you did it and you stick with it for life or you're a quitter. You should look at volleyball as something that used to bring you joy and no longer does. This relationship is something that brought them joy and no longer does, but you don't stick in it because you think your family is going to be. Who cares?
Yeah.
Where is your joy? If it's not with this person or with this sport, keep it moving.
Good for you, Al. I like it.
First of all, that was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that story. Honestly, I love little peeps into your all's fatherhood journeys.
Yeah, I love it.
You know, I really agree with you so much, and it might be because we're the only two divorcees. Like we have that experience. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be this big, like, you know, blowout. I got divorced, and I think the bigger issue was other people's opinions or judgments on what we were doing and why. It probably would have been a much more expedited and cleaner process had other people not tried to interject, which is why it's very important that you keep your affairs to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, I agree that there's sometimes a season thing, but also at this season in Hoda's life and in her ex's life, you should get everything that you want. Why are you settling? You know, if you are going to make that type of commitment and you are doing it with the intention of it being forever, then you should have everything you want. Otherwise, you continue to go on with your journey. So I think this is a very beautiful thing. It's probably not the best for her to have to explain to people, especially in the moment, but I think it's a very beautiful thing.
Yeah, very quickly, I was with someone for 5 years and we almost got engaged. And then one day we looked at each other and said, do you love me? I don't love you anymore. And he said, I don't love you anymore. But we really liked each other. So we stayed as roommates for the next 2 years and dated other people. And I just want people to know it's not always a fork in the road. You're not either broken up or nothing. There is a multitude of roads and paths that you can take, especially now with people in economic despair. We couldn't afford to split up. And we made it work. And we're still buddies. We had animals together. We still talk. So don't think it's always black and white, like it's over, it's not. There is a multitude of avenues you can take.
Do you think Hoda will ever outgrow Oprah?
You're talking about
Miguel?
Oh, yeah, dang.
Oh, God, Jeff.
I was like, I'm gonna button this up nice, and you guys didn't say anything. I'm like, dude, that was a winner. I was thinking that the whole time.
You were like, I won. You didn't listen to anything I said?
No.
Okay.
No. All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
All right. right, Kristen Bell revealed that she and her husband, Dax Shepard, talk about their crushes with each other. Kristen recently said that they are likely one of the only couples who do this, adding that some people think it's weird, but there's a trust factor between them. She said, quote, "I love him, but I'm not married. I'm not dead. Other people are attractive."
I mean, I definitely point out cute women
with your husband there?
I'm like, Brooksy, 12 o'clock, looking fantastic. How hot is she?
When I'm with my wife, I'm more apt to point out an attractive man.
Yeah.
If my wife points out there's an attractive woman in the room, I'm like, ew, did you see her makeup? But really, I'm like, yeah. So I have that little dynamic. I don't want to like throw that in her face at all.
Right.
But
No,
I don't,
share the beauty though, man.
No, I mean, I think we all notice, but you don't need to revel in it and be like,
right.
You know, when you're turning necks, you're going to get in trouble. At least I am.
Yeah, you can't. If you want to, you can't turn your neck. But what you can do, Jeff,
is pick a spot on the wall and wait for them to walk into it.
You're like, hey, did we park over there? Oh, okay. I thought we parked over there.
We're talking,
is it over here?
All right, we're a couple of men talking.
Yeah. But I pointed out.
How do you guys feel?
You know, I think there was a time when I did that. Like, I would point out an attractive woman. I don't know. I don't think you know what? I think I got older and I just don't notice things. Like,
really?
I'm not really, you know, I'm just, whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm there for is what I'm doing. Like, I'm just kind of like, I think I'm over, you know what? Here's a little
You mean like
session.
when me and Al were complimenting you and you had no idea?
Yeah,
Nice.
I think I've been overstimulated in life. I think I need some kind of like shock to my system because I'm just like aloof about everything.
Really
Like, I don't even know what's happening anymore. Is that a thing? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I feel like too much has happened and now I'm just like, I'm like desensitized to things. I just don't know. I'm not present. That's what it is.
I was just going to say to you that means that you're just not living in the very present moment.
I am not.
That's exactly right.
I am not.
Right.
How do I get to the present?
Well, first of all, you can do a pause very simply. So every 10 minutes you do a pause for 3 seconds.
No one's.
3 seconds. Tori, this is after 40 years of life. I need more than 3 seconds.
You start small. I'm not asking you to do an hour of being present. That would be absurd. Stop. 3 seconds as you walk. For instance, when I touch my badge to getting it in here, I take a moment and I breathe and I try and stay present just for that second. And it grows. Habits like this grow. And I'm simply saying that this can help you get so overstimuli. If you're in the present, you don't have time to look at all the others. That's my goal in life.
Well, you do have time. You have every 10 minutes for the rest of your life to analyze.
It's important mini train.
Yeah, I appreciate your input.
Absolutely. And I would just say, if you do point out hot people, it's just like beauty. I like seeing a beautiful mountain, a beautiful tree. That man's beautiful. That woman's beautiful. That's what I think. Beauty.
That mountain can't ruin your relationship.
I do notice people's hair, though.
And also, know your partner.
Hair.
Know your partner when we're talking about this, because some people.
For sure.
Yeah, Brooks and I are fine with it.
Jordan, but some people would be
Brooks
like,
and I are fine with
you
that.
think this person's prettier
Right.
than me, so like you should know your partner before you start talking about other people's looks. I wouldn't care. My girl wouldn't care, but a lot of people would, and maybe at a different point in my life, I would have. So make sure you know who you're dealing with.
I love staring at the ocean or a woman when she walks in the room for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
What's the big deal?
Same thing.
Remember the ocean, honey?
All right, coming up on DBL, we're talking with Dr. Tammy Nelson about the taboo things you might be too nervous to bring up to your partner. We were just talking about these things. Plus, Nelly gets slammed for telling Madonna to cover up. Is it ever okay to comment on a woman's body? I think I know the answer.
Closed captioning provided by
When we
Okay, so if you want to know what's going on backstage between Lindsay and myself and Erica, we're trying to get cute snow suits, and Al is in it too. We want to look cute in like Colorado. So Erica knows.
Yeah, so we're in Denver, and Lindsay is trying to
And
get
Tori.
more, and Tori are trying to get more into snow sports.
Correct.
And I've been in Denver for like 13 years now, so I've had like 10 generations of snow gear.
Quick caveat, Erica knows how to snowboard.
Like,
Tori
well.
and I just want to go pose on the mountain and do
Correct.
things like that.
Après ski is
Like
what I
such.
do.
Yes.
In my personal opinion, It is best to go to, there is a national convention called SIA that happens every year here in Denver. And you get whatever is new for all of any line, like boarding, like skiing, whatever. So it's the newest stuff. So that way you're kind of like,
The trendsetter.
Right. However, another hack that I do is I will go to the mountain town and purchase my gear and stuff in the mountains,
Like Breckenridge?
because they generally get only a certain amount of stuff, and they also will get like stuff that other stores don't get. So that way you're not wearing the same thing as everybody else.
Is Breckenridge, is that a good one to go to?
Yeah, you can
like
go
a
to
mountain?
Breckenridge. You can go to
And let
Breckenridge.
me tell you, I went to Walmart, and the way that Colin's pants were looking was very sloppy. So, no shade to Walmart, but if you want to look nice and neat, Walmart probably ain't it.
And Sam just went snowboarding, and she looked so cute. She's doing it for her late
At least
brother-in-law,
big
who's a
sporting goods.
surfer and snowboarder. And she had the cutest little outfit on, and I want those big old reflective things.
They're called goggles.
They're called goggles.
Yeah. Wow.
And the helmet, I want the helmet. And I want a cool jacket with a ski tag.
Yeah, ski equipment. You don't have to describe every piece.
Tag, you have
Okay.
to, you should go skiing because
Sounds good.
those little tags are very expensive.
I want to get one that's like, ooh, where's that tag? And I'm like, Walmart.
I'm committed to learn. I'm going to learn for real.
Yes, we're gonna snow.
Welcome back. Actress Melanie Lynskey, who stars in the hit show Yellow Jackets, is speaking out about the comments she's getting about her body. So she said the worst are the "I care about your health" comments, adding, quote, "You don't see me on my Peloton, you don't see me running through the park with my child. Skinny does not always equal healthy." Melanie's husband, Jason Ritter, is defending his wife, saying, quote, "If anyone has any further unsolicited comments about anybody else's body, they can feel free to write them in permanent ink on their own foreheads and swan dive directly into the sun."
I feel like that's what you tell me every
But why wouldn't you just go
That's just a
directly
cute
into
way
the
of
sun
saying, like,
before you
blank off.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what
Yes,
I mean?
very much so.
Listen, I met him through a friend of a friend a couple of times. He is the sweetest man.
seems like
ever.
it.
And that comment kind of reflects his personality. He won't tell you that, but he's like, go jump in the sun. You know what I mean? Type of guy.
Go jump in
But
the
anyways,
sun.
let's get back to the body comments. What do we think about this? I mean, please, I got nothing to say, but
Yeah, you
Don't
were
do
talking
that.
about Jason. I think Melanie, I don't know anything about her, but she seems like a very sweet person too. So it kind of seems like they are probably one of the most unproblematic couples that are the subject
Well,
of
then that's why we're
scrutiny.
creating a problem.
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's like, I guess
Yes.
so. I guess so.
Yes.
Like, you can't even mind your own business and be kind anymore. You have to, like, be the subject of scrutiny. When people say things like, "I'm concerned about your health," it is super condescending. Like, oh, you're concerned about my health? Like, everything with you is 100%?
Right.
Like, your marriage, your children, your everything is that perfect that you have time to diagnose what's
Right.
happening over here?
Yeah.
That is, people,
Especially when you don't know those people.
Right.
Like a family member or someone close that you could almost have those
And
conversations with.
Jeff, as Erica was talking, it made me think, because you were like, I don't have anything to say about this subject. I was like, I think you do.
Oh, I definitely do, but I'm saying-
Because remember people were leaving comments about telling you guys to cut Lawson's hair and how upset, because it's so invasive and
Yeah.
personal, and like, especially your son's hair. Don't talk about my son's hair. There's little things where it seems like an innocuous comment, but I think it's a very personal thing, and I think that's why people, like husbands like Mr. Ritter, stand up so much, because they're like, "But you're crossing a line. We have a professional line, fans line, but then like when you start talking about my wife's weight, my son's hair, it's a different level."
See, I just have to share this because I don't know if you'll remember this, Jeff, but we had a break in between shows. I was going to get something to eat, and my Uber driver picked me up. And he's
I remember
like,
this.
"I love watching you on DBL." And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much." And he's like, "Yeah, you gained weight." It's like, what? And he's like, "Yeah, before you were a little skinnier, but now, you're heavier." And
I like that he explained to you what gaining weight was, not why he said the comment. Gaining weight is when you're smaller and then get bigger. You're welcome.
And I said yes, and now I'm going to get a cheeseburger. That's where you're dropping me
It brings us kind of to our next point, because this is another part of the conversation. Is it ever okay to tell someone to cover up or that they gain weight in this instance? Madonna posted a series of pics to Instagram. Some are so racy we had to censor them for daytime television. Singer Nelly commented saying some things should be covered up. So if you're an Uber driver, should you tell someone to gain weight? Or if you're Nelly, should you tell Madonna to cover up, Tori?
Yeah, I was also in a grocery store where someone's like, I love you, but you look way skinnier right now. It's your face. I was like, thanks a lot. Like you had to go the extra way. So I know what you mean. This is what I feel about, first of all, Nelly makes no sense to tell Madonna cover up when he had songs that are like, let's take off all your clothes, you know, right? That's him, right? Yeah. And Madonna is wonderful for me, for a pioneer to break in the doors of being like, I'm going to show my body, I don't care. What it says to me when you comment on my body or tell me to cover up is you really don't believe that I have autonomy over my own body. That like you have a part of the pie of what happens to me because you aren't good enough to take care of it. It's too big, you need to cover up. And that bleeds into things like, to me, much more serious things, that women don't have autonomy over themselves and their body. It is so absurd to think you have a right to speak about me. You're not part of this. And that has to change in society. Because I think women are seen as things, like some things need to be covered up. We're humans, we're not vessels, and we should be treated with the same respect.
I just wonder philosophically, and I know we have to go, why was it okay for him to tell the entire planet to take their clothes off, but it's not okay for him to tell them to put their clothes on? Just on a psychological level, I wonder what's the issue with that?
Well, it was hot in her. So you couldn't do it. Yeah, I hear you.
Well, you could do something with the AC. You don't have to get naked.
I didn't get a good reaction, but that was
it was good, right?
You followed up with another Nelly line.
Hot in her.
Now it's ruined.
See, Jeff, you tried to
No, I tried to lift you up.
Swan dive into the sun.
You fell off. You fell off yourself. Coming up on DBL, sex therapist Dr. Tammy Nelson. She's giving us all the advice on taboo topics you might not want to bring up with your partner.
That is a good point, though, Al.
No.
It is philosophical.
This was.
When it comes to viral claims online, Verify hits the pause button and digs deeper to find out what's real and what's not. Right now, Twitter is flooded with people talking about the IRS's plan to require face scans this year. So let's verify. Will you need to do a facial scan to file your taxes this year? Here are sources: the IRS and Blake Hall, CEO of ID.me. That's the company the IRS hired to run its sign-in and verification process. They're based in McLean, Virginia, and provide the same service for the Department of Veterans Affairs, the Social Security Administration, and 27 state unemployment agencies, including Virginia. Both confirmed that you do not need to create an ID.me account to file your taxes, pay your balance, or to get your tax refund.
That's complete misinformation. We are a secure way to verify who you are so that you can get access to digital services.
According to the IRS, that's things like checking if you're eligible and enrolled for the Advanced Child Tax Credit, or getting copies of past tax returns, or setting up an identity protection PIN that prevents others from filing a tax return for you. Those will all require you to set up an ID.me account and, yes, take a selfie video. It's similar to Face ID on Apple.
It's that selfie step that, even if they have all that information and they could commit identity theft, the reality is they have to put their face in front of a camera, and criminals do not want to do that. They will go attack, some other programs.
So here's how it works. You create an account by providing your email address, social security number, a photo ID, and the selfie video. You'll also have to set up a multi-factor authentication. The selfie video helps them make sure that you're really you when you set up your account. And those one-time codes sent through multi-factor authentication help verify it's you every time you sign in. So we can verify that no, you will not need to take a selfie to file your taxes this year, but you will if you want to access certain features. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
You renew your driver's license, your passport, but what about renewing the terms of your relationship? Well, we sat down with sex therapist Dr. Tammy Nelson, aka Dr. Love, to talk about all those taboo things you may be too nervous to bring up to check on with your partner. Check it out. You might just call our next guest Dr. Love. Sexy, because she's a world-renowned relationship expert, sex therapist, and author. Please welcome to our show, Dr. Tammy Nelson.
Doc, how are you?
Doc, good to see you.
Hi. Thank you. I like the Dr. Love thing.
I do too, that's right. All right, Dr. Tammy, we all know monogamous relationships are super hard.
Tell me about it. I'm just kidding.
But what specifically makes them so difficult?
Well, I think today we're expected to live with someone and be, monogamous and attracted and excited for 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, sometimes 70 years. And there's no precedent for that. We know how to get divorced. We know how to cheat. We know how to break up, but we don't know how to stay sexy and hot.
I've always kind of wondered this, but I want to hear from your experience. What do men who cheat want, besides the obvious?
Well, I think people who are looking for outside relationships, and look, Ashley Madison, which is the Married but Dating website, has 75 million members worldwide. And it's not just men. Half of them are women. So what do people look for? They're looking to not so much for someone else, they're looking to be someone else. They're looking for a part of them that they can't, for whatever reason, express in the relationship they're in. And 72% of a recent survey of Ashley Madison members said that they would want to be in an open relationship if they knew how to talk about it. So people would rather be honest and open than lie. And I think that that's really where we're going with marriage today.
I could definitely see that. Well, we asked about the men. What do women want?
Good question, Al.
Half of our audience is curious.
Yeah, well, 82% of women in open relationships say they're pretty fulfilled. I mean, they want the same thing. They want good sex, they want good romance, and they want good emotional connection. We all want the same thing, and we want it. We want to live in integrity. We don't want to hide and we don't want to lie. And so that's really what open monogamy is. It's being with one primary person, having that central commitment, but also having the flexibility and the fluidity to explore what makes us feel fulfilled.
Dr. Love, listening to you, it almost sounds like traditional monogamy is dead. Do you think it is?
Well, monogamy has always been synonymous with morality. And today, I think it's more about being honest. And if we can find a way that works for us as a couple, then that's really the key. I don't think monogamy in marriage is the same for everyone anymore. It's not your grandmother's, monogamy, that's for sure.
That's true. We're talking about on a talk show like this openly, which I really appreciate and like because I think a lot of people have questions. So how do you create a sustainable relationship that works for you and one where you can stay true to yourself? I'm assuming it has to be with communication, which no one's good at.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. How do you stay true to yourself and also another person, right? We want to keep our promises. That's what integrity means. But we also want to stay true to who we are as we grow. So you have to have this conversation over and over. You have to renew your monogamy, just like you would renew your license every couple of years. You have to renew what your monogamy means to you and have these conversations on a regular basis because we change over time as we develop as a couple.
So Dr. Tammy, I got to know about this micro cheating. What is the definition of micro cheating? What does that look like?
Well, I think you know it when you're doing it. It's like the little things that you do that you might not want your partner to know. Like if you're hiding your phone when you send a text, that might be considered micro cheating. If you're not really transparent about your social media, that might be micro cheating. Like we know when we're doing something that we don't really want to share, then that might be the beginning. It could be a slippery slope to something bigger, or it could just be those little things that bring us this little thrill, and maybe that's okay in a relationship, and maybe it's a sign that something needs to be talked about.
Interesting. I love that we're opening this discussion. Thank you so much, Dr. Tammy, or Dr. Love, when you're on the show. You are truly a relationship revolutionary, and DBL Nation, we got Dr. Tammy's book, Open Monogamy. It's available now wherever books are sold, so if you're confused or you're questioning, get this book. Thanks so much. We'll be right back. Thanks Dr.
Doc.
Tammy.
Thank you.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
The child tax credit was created in the 90s as a way to give a little extra cash to help people raise their kids. The way it normally works, when parents or guardians file tax returns, the child tax credit gives them an extra $2,000 per child. That money can either go toward their total owed taxes or toward an increase in their refund. But in 2021, it worked a bit differently. The stimulus package that passed last March, the American Rescue Plan, created something called the Advance Child Tax Credit. It meant that lots of families started getting monthly direct payments instead of having to wait to collect a lump sum at tax time. And the total credit increased by $1,000 or more per kid. So, with tax time just around the corner, people are wondering, if I got those advanced child tax credit payments, do I need to claim the credit on my 2021 return? To answer this question, we dug into guidance from the IRS and talked with a tax expert from Jackson Hewitt. Here's how the monthly payments worked. The IRS looked at each taxpayer's info and estimated how much total credit you should get in 2021, based on how many kids you have. Then they split that amount up into monthly checks. But those payments didn't start until July, meaning you only got 6 checks last year, or half of the total amount you're owed. The other half, that will come in the form of a traditional credit when you file your 2021 tax return.
They will not automatically give you the other half of the money unless you put the dependents, fill out the form on your tax return or the tax return that you file electronically, and request the balance of that money.
So we can verify, yes, even if you got advance payments in 2021, you need to claim the child tax credit on your 2021 return in order to get all the money you're owed. And if you're wondering exactly how much that is, the IRS sent out letters with that info. Hang on to yours to make filing your return easier. Now, because Congress didn't extend these advance payments, there will be no monthly checks in 2022, and next year, the process for getting the child tax credit will go back to normal. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
A record amount of merchandise was returned in 2021, but there's a darker side you may not know about. Let's connect the dots. Experts say online purchases are 3 times more likely to be returned than items bought in a store. Amazon third-party sellers told CNBC they end up throwing away about 1/3 of returned items. The CEO of a return solution provider says from all those returns, there's nearly 6 billion pounds of landfill waste generated every year. That's equal to the amount of waste produced by 3.3 million Americans every year. Retailers have also been known to burn unused or returned products as a means of disposal, or in some cases, to protect their brand. In response to growing criticism, Amazon says it's working toward a goal of zero product disposal, creating new programs to give sellers the option to resell returns or auction them off. It also has programs to recycle returned goods or donate them to nonprofits. Amazon says more than 67 million items have been donated so far. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Welcome back. February is American Heart Month, so we're taking a look at ways we can reduce our risk of heart disease. That's today's Focus on Fitness, presented by QB. When most people think about heart health exercises, they think cardio, but the American Heart Association also recommends strength training exercises. Studies show that weightlifting can reduce your risk of a heart attack or a stroke. QB is a great way to get some quick exercise. Try their under-desk elliptical at home. Call 1-800-556-2089 or visit QB.com to learn more.
Just so you guys know, I signed up for Fit On. It's free. Gabrielle Union is sponsoring it, and it's free workouts, and it's strength training. You can pick it. It's excellent. Really recommend it.
All right. DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place.